friend and the mothers of the kids and also our business partner. Early on in the piece, before she was farming, I did convince her a bit, but I think once she's felt the joy of running the place and rearing calves and then seeing them grow from young to a beautiful stock, the convincing is no longer needed. Couldn't have done it without her. The way we sit, both myself and Sylvia, we want to farm better, we want to grow grass better, we want to be better employers, we want to reduce the environmental impact of this farming operations. We feel like if we own something, let's pass it on to next generations better than when we received it. We've invested a lifetime into this farming, and we do believe we shall prevail. By the time we finish milking, most people only about to start their work, yet we've milked 600 cows or 1,000 cows or whatever the numbers may be, and that's a great feeling knowing that we've got the head start. The way Islamic faith see farming is one of the best professions really. Islam perceives and views looking after livestock as good deeds. Us being a Muslims and a farmer, it's really the best of the both worlds. So that gives us the encouragement to farm the best that we can. We are Reza and Sylvia Abdul-Jabbars. We are dairy farming in Mokatua, Southland. We run 2 dairy farms. All the operations are within 10 minutes of each other. So pretty sweet spot to farm, but environmentally sensitive. We've got the Waituna Lagoon surrounding us, so we are really trying our very best to minimize the impact of the farming that we do. And supporting all the projects that we feel beneficial to the environment, in particular the project called the Living Water. We work with Fonterra and Department of Conservation in retiring some of our lands. In this case, it's about 10.5 hectares, so that we can plant riparian plantings, creating habitat, reducing the sediments from the farming to the waterways, making sure that the creeks are sustained, and making sure really that this dairy farm that we run is commercially viable and the environment is pristine. So far, the result's been encouraging. We feel that more work like this needs to be done.
He's been looking after it properly, eh?
Comes with the better cows, apparently.
That's nice. No, you should get to look after
Sylvia's my better half. She's my wife, she's my best friend, and the mothers of the kids and also our business partner. Early on in the piece, before she was farming, I did convince her a bit. But I think once she's felt the joy of running the place and rearing calves and then seeing them grow from young to a beautiful stock, the convincing is no longer needed. Couldn't have done it without her. The way we sit, both myself and Sylvia, we want to farm better, we want to grow grass better, we want to be better employers, we want to reduce the environmental impact of this farming operations. We feel like if we own something, let's pass it on to next generations better than when we received it. We've invested a lifetime into this farming, and we do believe we shall prevail. By the time we finish milking, most people only about to start their work, yet we've milked 600 cows or 1,000 cows or whatever the numbers may be, and that's a great feeling knowing that we've got the head start. The way Islamic faith sea farming is one of the best profession really. Islam perceives and views looking after livestock as good deeds. Us being a Muslims and a farmer, it's really the best of the both worlds. So that gives us the encouragement to farm the best that we can. We are Reza and Sylvia Abdul-Jabbars. We are dairy farming in Mokatua, Southland. We run 2 dairy farms. All the operations are within 10 minutes of each other. So pretty sweet spot to farm, but environmentally sensitive. We've got the Waituna lagoons surrounding us. So we are really trying our very best to minimize the impact of the farming that we do. And supporting all the projects that we feel beneficial to the environment. In particular, the project called the Living Water. We work with Fonterra and Department of Conservation in retiring some of our lands. In this case, it's about 10.5 hectares. So that we can plant riparian plantings, creating habitat, reducing the sediments from the farming to the waterways, making sure that the creeks are sustained, and making sure really that this dairy farm that we run is commercially viable and the environment is pristine. So far, the results been encouraging. We feel that more work like this needs to be done.
He's been looking after that properly, eh?
Comes with the better cows, apparently.
That's nice. No, you should get to look after.
Sylvia is my better half. She's my wife, she's my best friend, and the mothers of the kids, and also our business partner. Early on in the piece, before she was farming, I did convince her a bit. But I think once she's felt the joy of running the place and rearing calves and then seeing them grow from young to a beautiful stock, the convincing is no longer needed. Couldn't have done it without her. The way we sit, both myself and Sylvia, we want to farm better, we want to grow grass better, we want to be better employers, we want to reduce the environmental impact of this farming operations. We feel like if we own something, let's pass it on to next generations better than when we received it. We've invested a lifetime into this farming, and we do believe we shall prevail. By the time we finish milking, most people only about to start their work, yet we've milked 600 cows or 1,000 cows or whatever the numbers may be, and that's a great feeling knowing that we've got the head start. The way Islamic faith sea farming is one of the best profession really. Islam perceives and views looking after livestock as good deeds. Us being a Muslims and a farmer, it's really the best of the both worlds. So that gives us the encouragement to farm the best that we can. We are Reza and Sylvia Abdul-Jabbars. We are dairy farming in Mokatua, Southland.
Asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Alhamdulillah, we are thanks to Allah that we gathered here in this forum, talking about the winter, the food, superfood in winter. So here is Dr. Reza from New Zealand and Dr. Zaidul Akbar in Jakarta, Indonesia. So Dr. Reza, so it's been a week in winter already. So now on, it's how many degrees now?
Yeah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Alhamdulillah, all praises and thanks belongs to Allah, the Lord of all that exists. That we are here, that we gathered among all the best scholars of the world. I've got in front of us Dr. Zaidul Akbar, Hafidahullah, may Allah preserve him and elevate him in every wise. Alhamdulillah, my brothers, my sisters, wherever you may be, that we are gathered here in order to benefit from the teachings of the Quran and Sunnah and all the modern science. That in New Zealand now, we are in winter, and I know in the southern hemisphere of the world, we're also in the winter. So when you look at the northern hemisphere, they're in the summer. Allahu Akbar, the bottom of the world, we are in winter. June, yesterday, we had one of our coldest day. We're in the morning, we're at -8. And the days gets warmer until about 10 degrees Celsius. Today, the days never got any warmer than 6 or 7 degrees Celsius, pretty cold. Alhamdulillah, that there are plenty of warm, plenty of foods, all the right foods. And I think to my brother Tito, it's the weather pattern in Southland and New Zealand, you could say it's almost single digit. Where the law of the night goes into the minus. Yeah, so that's about the situations at the moment. And you know, we don't have the seasonal vegetables that you have in Indonesia.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. So but we got plenty of honeys, we got plenty of milk, plenty of meat, and plenty of root vegetables. Yeah, so that's about the way it looks at the moment. So I'll pass it on to you, my brother, and then you can sort of take it from here.
Sure. Alhamdulillah, thank you, Dr. Reza. Actually, here now in Indonesia we have only the summer and also the wet season. So actually, it's we are welcoming the hot season. Actually, it's very humid, yeah, Dr. Zaidul. So what do you think, Dr. Zaidul? We are in Indonesia, so we have a lot of it's quite humid. It's almost 100% humidity. So the food also different, and we have herbs, the local herbs here. So what do you think, Doctor, about the winter and the seasonal in Indonesia?
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu nabiyya ba'da. Allah Ta'ala fil Qur'anil Karim, a'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Sanurihim ayatina fil afaq wa fi anfusihim hatta yatabayyana lahum annahu al-haq. Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah, the one and only God that we have pray every day for Him, and may Allah rewards and guard us with this iman until we meet Him, inshallah.
Ameen.
I'm so grateful today that I meet my brother Fila, Sheikh Al-Khina Al-Muqarram, Reza Abdul-Jabbars from New Zealand, and also Hina Tito Maulana from Bintaro. I have to correct one thing about what you just said about season in Indonesia. Indonesia is not, or Indonesia doesn't have two season, which is hot and cold, but we have several season, which is durian season, manga season, rambutan season, you know. So that's the beauty of Indonesia. In New Zealand now, I heard that brother Reza said that is yesterday he sent me a picture about the temperature there. It was, if I'm not mistaken, -3 degrees Celsius, if I'm not mistaken. So regarding about winters or about this cold, yeah, like this, I just remember one thing that Rasulullah SAW says to us about this up and down. Yeah. Maybe so far in New Zealand or Indonesia, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, or sometimes very cold. It's like iman. Yeah. Iman, Nabi SAW said that al-imani yazid wa yanfus. Iman can go up, can goes down. So about this season or winter or cold, what we have to face or what we have to prepare for the next winters. So let's go back to what Rasul said to us about iman. So iman can goes up and goes down, and now they're gonna be winter there, gonna be a very cold temperature there. So what we have to do, or first thing that we have to do, is that we have to believe that is one of the signs of Allah Almighty that create this earth. Those winters, those cold, those hot here, or those humidity, is several signs of Allah signs in this earth. So another word I can say that, so what we have to do first if we are going to face winter? No, I'm going to say that what we have to do if we face winter is raise our iman. That's the winter is the sign of Allah. About that verses that I read to you all, sanurihim ayatina fil afaq. We show to you about what we have created in this earth, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So first that we have to do is raise our iman, because iman can goes up and goes down. I mean that in these winters, maybe for me, I have to say that for brother and sister in New Zealand, they have to raise their iman by what? By making more zikir, making more salat sunnah, and making more other things that can raise their iman, or maybe listening a majlis like this is also raising the iman. That's the first thing that we have to do when we have or when we face winter, because winter may be scary for Indonesia, because they cannot eat gorengan there. Gorengan, I don't know gorengan in New Zealand, because fried and gorengan.
Fritters.
I don't know.
Fritters.
Maybe brother Reza can tell. That's all I can say for this first moment.
Sure.
And I resend this session to Ahito.
Sure. Thank you, Doc. So actually, it's interesting talking about iman and connection with the healthy diet. And now on, we will ask Dr. Reza about iman. It's important to keep your mood boosted up by eating a balanced diet during a sub-zero climate. It's a sub-zero. -3 to -8 is sub-zero. It's different game than Indonesia. So it will be triggering the SAD there, the seasonal affective disorder. So actually, what is SAD? We haven't heard this kind of things in Indonesia, Dr. Reza.
My brother and my sisters, wherever you may be, Doc, mashallah, great opening there from you. Really, post COVID-19, we see New Zealand has managed, really, by the mercy of Allah Rabbul Alameen, that we've managed to be on day 25 of no cases. But what actually interesting though, the case of mental health disorder and SAD has increased. Right? So we see these things. Most New Zealanders have been cooped up at home in their houses 2.5 months, 19 weeks of effectively being imprisoned at home. in order to avoid contact and COVID-19. And also coming into winter. So one of the things that we do here is we're trying to promote balanced diet. We're trying to promote good health, eating habit and healthy habit. But often it's not easy, Doc, because people are facing a little bit of poverty. Maybe you don't think that in New Zealand, but even for New Zealanders coming into winter, things are a lot more expensive. Because of the cold weather, your power bill goes up, your food bill goes up, your seasonal vegetable goes up in prices, and also the prices of some of the basics. Generally, it nudges up a little bit in the winter. Brother Tito is talking about seasonal, disorder, affective disorder. Is that during the winter months, we see some of the populations anyway, they feel gloomy, a bit of a blues, like the winter blues, where just a bit of a description that it doesn't get light until about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then by about 5, it gets dark again. So we're only looking at really the true sunlight hours may only be 3 or 4 hours a day at sometimes, and other times it might be 8 hours. But it all very much dependent. So when we see a day in New Zealand in the winter, especially where I am in the bottom of the South Island, and we see a weather that we got say 11 degrees Celsius or 12 degrees Celsius, we really celebrate this double digit. Because lots of the days are only 7 degrees Celsius, and this is the high. So we can see a law of minus. So what we want to sort of really learn from you, Doc, is that we are very blessed by the mercy of Allah, that we have got plenty of meat of the highest quality, plenty of milk, whether it is cow's milk, we've got some sheep milk, and plenty of other dairy products that you may or may not agree, but we need to find the alternatives that sort of seasonal and available to us. What else we have? We have got roots vegetable. I know you advocate and encourage us to eat all the herbs, but those gingers, turmeric, and all the types of things are not native to New Zealand. So we have to import them. So they're not really seasonal to us or available locally unless it is imported. We certainly can buy them. Don't get me wrong, we can buy them quite easily, but they're not locals. I sort of want to take into the discussion into the point that there is a saying in New Zealand: if we are in a new place, in the new territory, that the best thing we can do is to buy the locally produced honey of the locality. Because they say, if you buy some of this honey, and there's a raw honey, of the locality, then you are now employing the honeybees to go and gather up all the pollens, all the nutrients, and all the antihistamine that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created on all the flowers. So some of the things that the local people of New Zealand are practicing is very much in line with the Sunnah. We've got plenty of vitamin C, like we've got apples, oranges, pears, kiwi fruit, and persimmon. So that's about the staple diets, And in terms of the vegetable, we have lots of roots vegetable, such as carrots, parsnips, and then broccolis, cauliflowers, cabbages, sweets, you know, kales. So basically things that can handle the cold weather. So that's, I hope that answers the questions, my brother. And that so that's what the people are sort of trying to keep themselves warm. And but unfortunately, people tend to get a little bit gloomy and suffering from SID. Back to you, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Reza. So now this kind of seasonal affective disorders actually people becoming stressed of the gloomy of this. There is only 4 hours to 5 hours the sunlight. So Dr. Zaidul, actually we are here in Indonesia. We have perhaps 10 to 12 hours sunlight every day during the wet and hot season. So the people intends to eat the comfort food during winter, which consists the a lot of fat, oils, and probably junk food. But in New Zealand there is no ginger, turmeric; they're all imported. But here in Indonesia, we have the hot season. We are hotter than New Zealand, of course, but we have a lot of locally like herbs, like turmeric, ginger, and things that New Zealanders needed. But what is actually ginger? Why ginger and also turmeric also? I mean, the Indonesian people usually use it as the herbs to cure any of illness in Indonesia. Please, Doc, give us the enlightenment of the Indonesian herbs a bit.
Which if we talking about places, I mean, like New Zealand or Indonesia, Allah with the justice of Him make or create the plant or the food that's suitable for those that live in that area. Like I heard that Brother Reza said that so far in New Zealand and NZ, they never lack of milk, they never lack of meat, yeah, or some fruits, yeah. Maybe, yeah, for me, that's one of the reason why if one place is that Allah create, let's say that extreme season, there's also there that fruits or foods or something that the people there can consume it every day. Like we call it maybe in we know that milk, yeah, or meat, milk or meat is a protein, yeah. You know that protein is one of the best or one of the good immunity for our body. And also I heard also that New Zealand also have several fish that also they can consume. But somehow we have also remember that Allah create in NZ or Indonesia or entire world that Allah said in Al-Quran, Allah said in Rasul says in Hadith, like we know that honey, yeah, we know honey is one of the best, yeah, one of the best supplement for our body. And also we have dates here. These two things, honey and dates, consist of many amino acids that our body required. So for me, there's no there's nothing wrong or there's nothing to be afraid of, or when we are facing some season, because Allah also create, I'm calling it spare part. Okay. Spare part for those live in that area. So there, for in NZ, I really suggest that brother and sister there during this winter they consume more meat and also more Apa lagi? Lupa gue.
Nggak apa-apa, Dok.
Apa tuh? What?
Okay.
Milk. Yeah, I have here frozen goat milk. Yeah, frozen
Oh,
goat milk.
mashallah. Dok,
So
one thing,
actually, I
Dok.
want to make this for brother Reza, but he's far away, far away. Yeah. So maybe
One
when
thing,
you come
Dok.
to Indonesia.
I will take a rain check. Maybe a rain
Okay.
check for next day.
So if
Doc,
I
one thing,
make
Doc.
one of the recipe, I suggest you all there, I mean brother and sister in Nazi, you made a milk. Yeah, I mean you take a fresh milk, yeah, not frozen like this, but a liquid one, and you blend it with if you have what do you call it is ginger. Ginger also one of the plant that Al-Quran say it. In Jannah, one of the river there is made from ginger. So if we want to be not surprised when we enter the Jannah, we have to apa namanya tuh? Membiasakan, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting used to
To
it.
get used to it.
Get used. Nah, ini agak-agak lupa sedikit, tak apa-apa lah.
Nggak apa-apa lah.
Tak apa-apa lah. Yeah.
Santai,
Getting
Dok.
used to it. No.
Then when you enter Jannah, in earth now, you are rarely, maybe some people or brothers and sisters, they rarely consume honey. And then the angel in Jannah service honey. And you ask, what is? Oh, this honey. You never consume honey in the earth? Masya Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Malaikat say like that, maybe.
Doc, one of the beauty about this country, Doc, I mean, I just want to take it into a discussion that, you know, how do you make the mix, I want to summarize. We have plenty of meat. We have plenty of, like root vegetable. We have
Okay.
plenty of root, pip fruit, like stone fruits.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty of honeys.
Boys,
Honeys are,
Masya Allah.
and this is the, I don't know, this is, some of the king of honey, the black stuff,
Yeah. Premium Manuka honey, that's 2,000.
Yes, I mean, I'm keeping some. I'm certainly keeping some for you.
Ini madu pedesaan kalau ini.
So what I'm trying to say, we've got honeys with a clover honey, thyme honey. We've got manuka honey, blend, all the rata honey. So all lots of honey. So we got honeys, we got milk, we got meat. How do we make a blend? Based on what we have in New Zealand.
So one thing, Doc, and Dr. Reza and Dr. Zaidul. This is my shubhat, actually. My pediatrician told me some not really good news, but it happened to me. He said that 95% of Indonesian is lactose intolerant. What do you think, Doc?
Lactose intolerance.
Yep.
Yes.
Jadi
Ini kalau pakai bahasa Indonesia lebih gampang nih.
Fadal dok. Lactose
Jadi
intolerant.
gini.
Doc, we want to keep this for the Kiwis, the New Zealand, so they can benefit from your knowledge. That's why we can make the last session in Indonesian, no problem. But we really want the New Zealanders to actually benefit from your knowledge. Amalun jariyah, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Amin, inshallah.
So let's in English, yeah.
Yes, English sih.
Oh, English ya. Oke lah. Jadi gini, salah. Okay. Several doctors and maybe hospitals say that a lot of kids or children now they have lactose intolerance. Why this is happening? Why this happen? Actually, if we find out how immunity is descended from the mother, actually the problem is not the kids or the children, but the mother.
Okay.
If the mother, maybe she consume more gluten food or more chemical,
Yep.
chemical, and then many drugs that she consume, or also many. We know that the good food or bad food like that. And if the mother during the pregnancy or before the pregnancy, she consumed a lot of bad food. Let's say bad food. Okay, the immunity will inherit to the kid, to the children.
Okay.
Ini yang di Instagram pada ngakak-ngakak kali ya. Kali-kali ngelawak gitu ya. Biar okay. A smile is we need smile to decrease the tension, you know. Yeah, there's a proof for that. I mean, people that a lot of smile, the apa tuh namanya, blood pressure, they can decrease. Yeah. Okay, back to lactose intolerance. Yeah. Lactose intolerance for me, Emi jangan ketawa-ketawa. Ini my team is laughing, you know. Gitulah. Oke, jadi lupa gue. So
lactose intolerance.
The problem is for those kids that has lactose intolerance is the stomach or the gut. The gut. So what we have to do is detox it. Yeah, I mean clean it. Using what? One of the things that we can suggest to people that has lactose intolerance, we can suggest like coconut water.
Okay.
Is there in New Zealand coconut water?
Yes, it's imported, Doc. Imported, yeah. Not native to New Zealand.
No, okay. Maybe in this winter, coconut already freeze. So you don't have to put ice on the coconut.
Yes.
It's already
Yang coconut ice ya, es kelapa muda ya dok.
Es kelapa muda.
Baik. Masya Allah.
Okay, I'm not finished yet. So, the lactose intolerance can be repaired by treatment the gut. Yeah, I mean treatment the gut. I mean the stomach.
Yeah.
That's the point. For me, I made survey in several cases and also in my Instagram about people that cure from many diseases by repairing, by fixing their gut.
Yes.
And the interesting things is once they want to decrease or lower the cholesterol, their uric acid also decrease. So that's one of the biggest things that people now do not know about that. All things come from the gut. If your gut is clean, if your gut is well, they can fix many things. So fix your gut. That's why in Islam we have several ways to fix the gut. The first or the ultimate way to repair the gut is fasting. Fasting is you can count how many fasting that Islam has. We have Ramadan, we have Shawwal, we have Ayyamul Bid, we have Monday and Thursday, we have Sunnah fasting, many. Because Allah knows that in this era, you know, many you call it temptation also coming from the food. And also, I heard that one of the ulama say that in our plate there are 7 shahwat.
7 shahwat.
7 shahwat. So iblis, shaitan, devil, they apa tuh menggoda?
They tempt you.
Tempt the human. Yeah. To what? To eat more. Don't stop until you are satisfied. That's not the way of Islam. Okay? So here now, I'm saying that many diseases can be fixed or can be repaired if we repair the gut. So for those that have lactose intolerance, give them coconut water, give them honey, give them ginger, give them also milk. But milk, for me, one of the interesting things when Rasulullah went to Isra Mi'raj, Jibril alayhi salam give Rasulullah two choices. One is milk, one is the khamar.
Homer, yeah.
But I have asked one of the ustad here, actually what kind of milk that Rasulullah drank that day.
Okay.
He said that in Arabic culture, mostly they if they eat or drink milk, they drink camel milk or goat milk.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, goat milk is belong to umat Islam atau Islam. So Sheikh Reza there, I heard also beside apa lagi? Apa tu namanya?
Cow's milk.
Cow milk, you have to also raise the goat milk.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk is mentioned in Quran. Yeah. Then if I went to, inshallah, if I go to New Zealand, I will drink milk there. Because milk in New Zealand is grass-fed milk.
Grass-fed, yeah,
Yes.
grass-fed milk.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Sheikh, Doc, I just want to point out to you, right? One of the reasons why goat's milk is favored by a lot of our scholars is because it is the fat and the protein content of it is closer to the human milk, right?
MashaAllah.
Yeah, that's one of the reason, one of the hikmah, one of the wisdom. But in Indonesia, right? I mean, you're looking at a fat content of cow's milk at say 4%, and the protein is about 3%, right? But I want to show you this. This is my cows, yes, Sheikh.
So hang on, Dr. Reza.
Okay, so I want to show you this. If you can see this, you can see on the last collection. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my protein count, the fats of this cows is where's the fat here? It's 7% fat and nearly 6% protein. Very
So-
similar to that of the goats.
So actually, we are talking about the raw milk, right?
Yes,
We're not talking
what I'm
processed
saying, you know, when you talk about cow's milk, it varies depending on genetics and the breed choice. So we've got milk that are very close, meaning very nutritious, where the fat content is mimicking that of the goat's milk. So not every cow's milk produce the 7% as what Holland or Indonesia or some other countries. Some of these cows can give milk that are very similar to that of the goats. So I don't know. I mean, you are the expert. I look forward to you tasting a milk which is grass-fed.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
So tell us about the grass-fed, actually, Dr. Reza.
Yes, my brothers and my sisters, wherever you may be, like grass-fed milk, they taste better. There is no tainting in the milk, and it is a lot sweeter. And you don't, I know lots of people that have come to our place. They say that when they drink milk in Indonesia, they can't handle it. It felt so strong to them. Yet in New Zealand, it's very smooth. Almost a little bit of sweetness in it. So, I mean, I don't know. You have tasted the milk, my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milk is awesome.
Yeah. It's different, yeah?
Very different.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to sort of highlight there. And generally, New Zealanders will consume milk on a daily basis. Like lots, it's not unusual for young children to drink a liter of milk a day. Especially in the rural areas where the families are farmers. My young son, even at the age of 2-year-old, once he's finished feeding from his mum, would drink a liter and a half. of that unpasteurized, unhomogenized raw milk straight from the cows. And yeah, and I don't know, like I've seen them, and in New Zealand as well, when you see the country kids, they tend to be stronger than the city kids. MashaAllah, you know? So that's one of the things. I don't know whether it is because of the diet or because they eat more or they work more or all of the above. So it's just interesting to see this. We happen to produce honey as well. So we use some of this honey or some of the better stuff, which is the Manuka honey that has the UMF, the unique Manuka factor. And we often combine it with that raw, unpasteurized, unhomogenized raw milk. Fadal, yes, yeah.
Sure. Dr. Zaidul.
What's your thoughts? What's your thought on that, Doc? Mixing honey with milk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the a great recipe that I suggest to many people is not just mixing with honey, also mixing it with date. So if you have milk there, I suggest you, it is ajwa date. You can take this maybe in the morning or for seven ajwa dates, and then you blend it with milk, cow milk or goat milk, and then mix also with maybe 1 spoon of honey. If you want to feel more better, I suggest you to put it there ginger.
Okay.
Or if you don't have ginger, you can put it on the blend that black seed, habatus sauda. I suggest you maybe this is all the sunnah, the sunnah drink that Al-Quran said it, and also Hadith said about dates, about meal, and also there's no doubt that the honey Rasulullah say that shifa fi salasatin sharbatil asal, the cure consists of 3. One is taking honey. So if we drink honey, drink it with belief.
Yes.
Not just this is honey. No. Islam or Muslim, when Al-Quran says something about it or Hadith says something about it, you can ask Allah for that promise. You for some cases, and honey also mentioned in Al-Quran. One of the shifa that Quran mentioned is honey. So if we drink honey, don't just drink it. Ask the promise of Allah that this honey can cure our diseases. The same like Zamzam water.
MashaAllah.
Sheikh, you know, that black seeds oil, I've got a lot of questions. I mean, do we use the oil or the seeds?
Yep.
And how much?
For me, I prefer the powder.
The powder.
Powder.
Okay.
For
One
me,
capsule.
Capsule. Because if we're talking about oil, usually they extract it. I mean, the extract. I mean the apa namanya produsen ya, produsen. They extract from
Manufacturer,
Manufacturer. For me, as much better take this powder.
So Doc, for the habatus sauda, you prefer the raw one, the I mean not the liquid one. But how about the milk? Is it good enough for us to consume the pasteurized milk or the processed milk?
Sheikh Reza also said that the best milk is raw milk. If I'm not mistaken, the best milk is raw milk. I mean that if the the cow, they live cleanly, hygienically, and they don't have any disease. I think that's all one of the sign of Allah creation in milk. Can you imagine that from the grass that they eat, and then the grass they dilumat-lumat menjadi the mash it, and then become blood, and then in Al-Quran said itu they separate. Allah separated from blood to milk. So the best milk for me is the fresh milk. Then we were talking about the ancient milk. I mean, in Rasulullah time or Sahabat time. I think there is no we call it maybe handling for milk. If they have milk, they drink it. Because of why they want to drink it? Because the cow is clean, like in New Zealand. I think I can make sure that brother Reza there can drink milk shortly afterward after they
they harvest the milk.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the best milk. So if I go to New Zealand, I want to
Try.
milk.
Sheikh, for you, Sheikh, I will make sure you can drink straight from the cows.
Wow! No.
Yeah.
I can
will make
imagine,
sure,
mama.
yeah, we will make sure. You know, there is a saying. There is a saying in New Zealand that if you don't drink the milk from the cows, straight from the cows, you haven't been to New Zealand.
Okay. I'll do it for you. And we drink
Sheikh,
together,
okay.
yeah?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You
So,
beside me nanti.
Absolutely. See, okay. We've discussed about milk and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
I also want to ask you this. What do you think of the best golden recipes to uplift ourselves? You know, because, you know, like when you don't have the daylight, you get a bit sad, you know, people are a bit moody. You know, with the food that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us in New Zealand, what must we consume that uplift ourselves?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I know. I got it. I got the question. It's the same like Maryam alayhi salam. Maryam said in Quran, in Surah Maryam, in Maryam verses, she felt sad, she felt worried, and then Allah told her to shake the dates trees, and then Quran said rutoban janiyah. So if you feel moody or you feel or someone feel not good, so one of the Quran suggests is taking the root top or
The fresh dates.
wet dates.
Yeah, fresh one.
If you don't have wet date or root top, you can maybe take this like tamar. I don't know in New Zealand. Maybe you cannot plant these trees in New Zealand because it needs more hot temperature, right?
Yeah, but dates are widely available. I mean, we can go to the supermarket, we can buy dates
so
easy.
if you
Dry
feel
dates,
moody or brother and sister in New Zealand feel we call it di sini we call it baper gitu kan, naik turun, up down feeling gitu. You can take one date. You can first you can take date. The second one you can take banana.
banana,
Okay, banana.
Banana. And also, after you drink banana and date, you can also drink milk.
Okay.
Because milk, for me, is a representation about we are about the moment that Rasulullah Isra Mi'raj. So, if you want to make it easier, just you can get milk, you can get banana, and you also can get a date, and then you mix it, blend it.
Okay.
Because there is a saying, Sheikh, that in New Zealand and most of the Western countries that they say, you know, if you can't go to sleep at night, drink a glass of warm milk, you know.
Yes.
I don't know where that comes from, whether that is just the legacy of the people or cultural base, or it has really, you know, a real reason for it, you know. I just really want you to understand and elaborate and explain it to us. Where
Ibn
does that
Qayyim
come from?
al-Jawziyah said that people will be will habit like what they eat.
Yeah.
So if we we watch or see cow or we see goat, they face they face very very funny, you know. So what we eat, so that's why we in Islam we are prohibited to eat to take a pig or dog or cow animal like that. Because the habit will inherit to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we see the let's say that goat or cow, it's funny. Happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We see that happy,
We
and
are
then we
what
feel
we
happy
eat.
also.
We are what we eat. Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
Very, very good.
So-
MashaAllah. Yeah.
So Dr. Reza and Dr. Zaidul, very interesting, more interesting. And now after we talk about the milk, and we talk also the derivatives of the milk. So the cheese, yogurt, and things, so many things derivatives from the milk. So what do you think, Dr. Reza first? I would like to know.
Look, okay, my brothers, like in New Zealand, the derivatives of the milk products are also widely consumed in the form of butter. Because in New Zealand, Doc, that most New Zealanders would prefer butter rather than margarine. So
Oh my
margarine margarine is not really considered as in good, you know. I mean, a lot of people will say that margarine is only one carbon chain away from being plastics. So you know, so that's the sort of thing that we have the understanding. Yogurt is widely available and in many forms. You know, like plain yogurt, sweetened yogurt, unsalted, kefir yogurt, you know. So whatever that you want, including flavored yogurt, be it chocolate, strawberry, apricots, mangoes, and everything else. And of course, cheese, you know. Cheese is in its many forms. So we see there's lots of this. So obviously, New Zealand is amongst the countries that consume the dairy products of the highest kilograms per capita in the year basis. So New Zealanders love the dairy products. Be it too much or not enough, you know, I want your explanations on that. I want your take on that dairy product.
Yes, Dr. Zaidul, please give
Oh
us.
yeah. I'm listening. Don't worry.
All right, thank you.
Okay, talking about yogurt.
Yep.
Have we ever thought that one of the drink in heaven, in Jannah, also said is khamar, but it's not not drunk khamar.
Yep.
So khamar or fermented drink, they consist of many things, bacteria, good bacteria that can repair our gut. So I can figure out, in people in New Zealand, they have very less digestion problem if they consume the yogurt. Brother Reza said that people there is very familiar with yogurt. But the problem is, not the problem, there they can make yogurt from the fresh milk, homemade yogurt.
Yeah.
That's the good yogurt. So here we have several yogurt, in supermarket or in supermarket, but somehow I see that it's not really healthy. So if you want to eat the real yogurt, you have to make it. You have to make it. Also cheese. Cheese also one of the best food from milk. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the cow. It depends on the milk from the cow.
Okay.
The best cheese is coming from the best milk. The best, is that right? That the best yogurt is coming from the best milk also.
Yep.
So I figure out. I mean, I assume that people in in New Zealand, yeah, they have less cardiovascular disease. They have less cancer. Maybe Reza can explain about that. Because of what? Because they eat what their body need. They drink what their body need. One of the best drink that I can suggest to you all, so brother and sister, is yogurt. And a fermented food or fermented drink. They consist of probiotic. They consist of many good bacteria. That also in heaven we will drink also.
Inshallah.
That's why Nabi SAW said the best lauk bahasa Inggrisnya apa?
What are you trying to say, Sheikh? I'll explain to you. The best
Sebaik-baik lauk adalah
meal.
cuka.
Oh yeah. Okay, the best condiment is vinegar.
The best condiment is vinegar. Lumayan dapat kata-kata baru lagi. Masya Allah kan? So, what is vinegar? Vinegar is made from fermented, the probiotic. So that's why I believe, then I assume also that Brother Reza there, yeah, they very rarely having a digestion problem because they eat or they drink, yeah, milk and also the meat from the cow, yeah. That's why, and also the yogurt, the fermented food, mashallah. So you have a very blessed area there in New Zealand, but we are also blessing here by ginger, by turmeric, by kencur, mashallah.
Yeah. Sheikh, I mean, if you were to live in New Zealand, Sheikh, obviously one of our problem is we overeat. We don't quite stop. We don't quite stop when we should stop. I mean, we all guilty of that, and I'm guilty of that. Sometimes when things are tasting so good, you just want to keep on eating, so we get too much of the good food is also no good,
Yeah.
If you were to formulate a golden recipe as in a weekly basis, what would your food intake looks like? Got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. How will you build your meal plans over the week?
I mean, you mean the food?
Yeah, I mean, how would you eat? I mean, how much meat would you eat in a week? How much, Are we eating too much of the good food?
Yeah, meat is one of the good food, and also in Islam, we never agreed about being vegetarian because Rasulullah SAW also ate meat. Yeah, I mean, in Islam we do not do vegetarian because our intestine or our stomach and our teeth also build up for crushing the meat. But the problem is we cannot every day. Actually, for me, if you don't have some disease or maybe you want to building muscle or something, I do not suggest that eat meat every day. For me,
Okay.
if you want to have protein, maybe you can revert it to like milk, yeah, or another protein like tempeh, yeah, seeds, yeah, nuts, like that. It's much better. That's why in Islam, if we read the Abasa verses, it is written there. that if we made the surah al-basa as a benchmark for eating something, 4 and 6 plate of ours, it consists of fruits and vegetable. One of 6 plate consists of protein, and 1 of 6 consists of nuts. That's the best.
The other thing I forgot to mention is that New Zealand is also rich in nuts.
Right.
I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that. That's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us, especially when before coming to the winter, a month or 2 before winter, the nuts comes ready. Whether it is cashew nuts, walnuts, what are the nuts?
Walnut, like brand.
Yeah, almond nuts, all this, they do come in. We have plenty of nuts, so that's probably another thing that I forgot to mention.
That's one of the golden recipe that I suggest you. If you want to make a recipe from milk, you can also mix nut there.
What would be your first preference of nuts? What would be your number 1 choice?
Almond.
Almond, yeah, okay.
Almond has research about that. The researchers say that if you take 7 almond every day, it can protect your heart.
Okay. Very well, very well said, Jazakallah khair for that. Very, very beautiful. So the other thing is, of the choices of the vitamin C that we have, which is apples, pears, persimmons, kiwi fruits, what else? And oranges. We have many different cultivars of apples. We could probably 10 different cultivars of apples, from green to yellow to pink and all the different one. What would be your first choice of vitamin C and fruits during the winter?
Actually, for me, in Indonesia, like I just said before, this time we have several seasonal rambutan, duku, or durian, or manggis. I suggest that people here, if the maybe manggis itu bahasa Inggrisnya apa ya?
Mangosteen.
If the mangosteen come, take mangosteen every day. If the mango times come, take mango every day.
Yes.
That's why I suggest. So now in New Zealand, in this upcoming winter, if you have several fruits there, orange or pear or whatever, take that every day. That's Allah provide that for the upcoming winter.
So your advice is to perhaps apple in the morning and pears at lunchtime, and then the oranges. So mix them, yeah.
Yeah, but one of the best or one of the recipe that I suggest for someone who want to take fruits, cut the fruits into some pieces and then put them a little bit honey, and also put them on the pieces of the fruits. Also put salt.
Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt or volcanic salt or whatever mineral salt.
Yeah. Right.
Because of what? Because the salt will increase the absorb of those fruits.
Yes.
And also the best thing is if we're taking the fruits along with salt and honey, the function is they can stabilize the stomach, so that people
my apologies. Like some say that it acts as an electrolyte at the same time.
Right.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you will certainly eat apples, oranges, pears, and kiwi fruit, and just rotate them, yeah?
Yeah. For me, the best, or actually the best time for taking fruits is every time. I mean, during when the sunrise and the sun goes down. I mean, but the best for me, the best time for taking the fruits is early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because in the morning, it's time for our body to digest. I mean, we go to toilet, we go to many things that we are throwing the trash of our body. It happens in the morning. So in the morning, I do not suggest we taking many food. Actually, that food that contain so many.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
uh, very useful to eat or to take 7 ajwa date every morning. Because of what? In my Instagram, I also written there that ajwa date also have the spectrum of color that apa tu sihir bahasa Inggrisnya?
Oh yeah,
Magic.
black magic.
Magic cannot enter.
Okay.
That color spectrum is only found on ajwa date. So every morning I suggest you, brother and sister in New Zealand or here, if you taking some vegetable or fruits in the morning, put the pieces of ajwa there. It's very good.
Yeah.
I see. Subhanallah.
Yeah, the normal days.
Okay.
Sheikh, the other another last point that perhaps worthy of mentioning, that New Zealand is also very rich in cereals crop, like barley. We know it is sunnah. It is that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, whenever there is barley, He Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to prefer barley on every other, other than every other bread. So there is barley, there is oats, there is wheat. So we are also very rich in terms of the cereal crops, you know. What's your take on cereal crops? So quite often
Barley
in New Zealand,
itu apa? Kacang.
crops,
Barley itu ini apa?
gandum, barley, and oats,
Gandum-ganduman.
Like wheat.
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 So in New Zealand, it's very common that people will have a wheat biscuits that will be eaten dunked inside milk, you know, so the bowl of milk, and then you have the cereal crops on top of that, and then because it's high in energy, high in fibers, low in sodium, and no sugar, and obviously no cholesterol. So that's another routine of the people, which I like to take your
Mashallah.
your take on that.
Yeah, actually, barley. In if I'm not mistaken, in Hadith, Rasulullah say about talbina.
Is it
Talbina, one of the best, we call it fiber that coming from the plant. That Nabi Sallallahu say that talbina can ease your
fever. It takes
no,
away
not
the
just fever, but can ease your sorrow. Sorrow, right? Sorrow, sedih. Yeah. Talbina can ease our sorrow. So if you also in the morning, maybe I never haven't seen yet a New Zealander. I mean that if they taking barley or talbina like that, actually their face should be nice looking.
Like yours, Sheikh.
like yours?
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so we are talking about milk, meat, fruits, and how about vegetables now? What is the the New Zealanders usually consume during the winter, Dr. Reza?
Like in the winter we've got plenty of root vegetables, but admittedly there are not too many variations, Doc. We've got our carrots, we've got our kale, our pumpkins, silver beet, spinach, and the family of broccoli, whether it's broccoli, cauliflowers, broccoli flowers, the cabbages, sweets, all of these are root vegetable, and some green, very, very dark green vegetable. So we sort of rely on this over June, July, and August, and then as it gets warmer, all the other spring vegetable comes in. I'm keen to see what's your take on this. How will you cook it or not cook it?
Yeah.
In terms of taking your take of the greens.
Yes, Doc. For the
Yeah, here in Indonesia, I mean, you know that Indonesia doesn't have a season like that. So here we can find carrot, spinach, everything. But the problem is not the vegetable. The problem is the heavy metals on the vegetable. The problem.
Okay. Can you explain what is the heavy metals?
Heavy metal coming from the pesticide.
Okay.
Okay.
Pesticide, insecticide that farmer sprayed to the vegetable. So it's problem because one of the worst things about pesticide is they can make someone infertile.
Okay. So you prefer the the hydroponics one, or you prefer the organic one?
If we can afford the organic, I suggest take the organic. But otherwise, if we're talking about hydroponic plants, they also use the chemical fertilizer.
I see.
How do we wash them, Doc? Can we buy the
We can wash it very, very easy. Actually, in my Telegram channel, I also teach about making the enzyme. We call it eco enzyme. Eco enzyme is made from the skin of the fruits that we put on some bowl, and we put also the brown sugar there, also water for 2 weeks. We open, we close, we open, we close, we open, we close for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks we close it for the 3 months. After 3 months we can saring apa?
We can filter,
We can filter. I'm sorry, I'm using BLPTN English. You know BLPTN? Belepotan.
Yeah. That's Doc. What we want to know, Doc. I mean, you talk about organics, right? Organics are great, but often it's 3 or 4 times the price. Very, very expensive. Most people will find it difficult, or not affordable to buy. So
they can wash it. They can wash it with vinegar.
Okay.
They can wash it with vinegar, or if they don't have vinegar, they can use salt water. You take the mineral salt, and then you put it on the water, and then you masukin cemplungin.
Dunk it. So Doc, what you're saying is you mix a bit of water with vinegar, and then you just get the vegetable and you just dunk it in there, and then you leave it a few, to get the heavy metals out of the vegetable. Would that be what you do?
Yeah. Actually, Alhamdulillah, in my house, Allah gave us rizki, so we can provide organic. But for those my friend and brother and sister, they still cannot. Yeah, we have to realize that the prices of the organic is very, very different with the normal one. So
Sheikh, whenever I'm in Indonesia, I know where to go to get some organic vegetable. Then your house, I'm coming,
Yeah. Indonesia, not every supermarket provide the organic vegetable.
Make sure you leave me some for next time when I come and see you.
Okay, I'm waiting for you to making organic farm in Indonesia.
Oh,
Jangan lama-lama di
Look,
sono, sini juga dibuat. Kasihan nih umat.
right. Okay.
Barakallahu
My brother, yeah.
Okay, so actually, we are talking about the on the land. On the land is finished. The food, the food from the land. So we're going to the sea.
We're
What
going to
is
the sea.
actually we can consume from the sea, Dr. Reza, in New Zealand.
Okay. In New Zealand, we've got lots of fish, although not as many species as what we enjoy in the tropical countries.
Yeah.
Generally, amongst the cod species, whether it's blue cod, red cod, the gurnet, mackerel,
Mackerel.
snappers, tarakihi, and all the trevally, those big fish that we see. So so generally, like, I mean, especially in the bottom of the New Zealand, like where I'm at the moment, really the choices of the fish are not too many.
Okay.
But we have mussels, the green shell.
Okay.
We have salmon. Yes, we have salmon.
Okay.
So that's in amongst and hockey. So
Hockey
this,
fish.
you know, yeah, and these are beautiful fish. I mean, those salmon gives us plenty of omega-3, doc, you know, that gives us that, certainly that feeling of, you know, and a good skin like yours.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
So, Dr. Zaidul, what is good? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always saying that the everything on the sea is halal. So that means there is something from the sea that we can benefit from.
In my opinion and what I have read about, let's say about the fat in the animal or things, yeah, animal that lives in the land and an animal lives in the sea or in the water, actually is kind of different. Why we make the omega-3 from fish? Because somehow the temperature, one of the scientists, they say that human temperature is about 37.2 or 0.3 degrees Celsius. So the apa tu namanya, fat of the animal things that live on the sea, they have more temperature of our body that scientists say. So the fat and the animals that coming from the sea actually is much more easily absorbed rather than the fat if we take from the land of animal. I mean animal land. Yeah. So that's why people that consume more of fat, I mean like fat from the fish or fat from the animal, sea animal, they have a more intelligence. But in Islam, you know that Medina, also in Mecca, they don't have sea like Indonesia or maybe New Zealand. So that's why Allah create omega-3 or omega-6 not from the sea animal, but it's coming from the Zaitun.
Mashallah. Mashallah.
So this is why we have to know that every land that people Allah put human there are also foods either from the land or the sea that people there should consume it. I mean the food for Indonesian is suitable for Indonesian actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Except that Al-Quran said or Sunnah said, honey, ginger, date, habatu sauda, we ask for bless from Allah by eating that. It's different.
Okay.
But the best food that we can consume, maybe in New Zealand they have cod fish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Here we don't have cod fish, but we have gabus fish.
Okay.
We have apa tuh ikan yang kayak gabus itu?
Toman.
Toman fish.
Toman fish. Yeah.
Toman fish is also one of the best source of albumin.
Albumin. Okay.
Albumin.
Mashallah.
So here in Indonesia, yeah, I do believe if we Indonesian here take the omega-3, I mean, or the fat from the animal of the sea, I think we can have more intelligence. But I don't know in New Zealand, the fish there, what kind of cooking that they made of the fish. I mean here, if we see the fish, we langsung goreng gitu loh.
Yeah.
Is it also happening in New Zealand? I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, it happens, but a lot of people, they like the good fish. It's often in the oven, you see.
Yeah.
Grilled in the oven.
Grill.
Yes.
Not
Not the fry one. Not fry one. Yeah. Not fry
the
one.
fry. I mean, if we fry the fish, we also put the apa tuh lemak jenuh, saturated fat.
Saturated.
The fats, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I suggest here in Indonesia, if we want to have a really healthy fish, don't fry it. If you want to fry it, change it to grill it.
Or
Okay.
even eating it raw, you see. Or
Yeah.
raw.
Raw is very best actually.
Okay.
So,
Mashallah.
So I guess that's good, yeah.
So we we are starting
Boleh
to
curhat nggak?
see the question
Yeah.
from the
I think
audience.
we go to the questions, yeah.
Okay, we go to the question, ya Sheikh.
Iya.
Okay,
Jangan
so
dah.
the thing is from the youngster here, worry about the vegetarian. Hang on, I will translate it in English. So the youngster here is quite trend now, being a vegetarian. What do you think, Dr. Zaidul?
Well, I've just said that Islam doesn't know vegetarian because of
Okay.
what it means.
Mashallah. So it's not sunnah.
It's not sunnah.
It's not
So,
sunnah. Okay.
if we want to eat vegetable every day, we have to change our teeth
Yes.
because our teeth consists of
Okay.
apa? Taring lah, apa tuh bahasa Inggrisnya?
The carnivores.
Carnivores. Carnivore kan carnivore.
Alright.
Nah, kan itu yang lupa bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Sorry lah.
That's why we are omnivores, you see, because we are omnivores. We have got the carnivores and the herbivore in the same
Yes.
teeth, yeah. Alhamdulillah. Maybe for that brother that wants to go
Yeah.
to herbivore, that brother that wants to be vegetarian, maybe we can take his, that front teeth out.
Apa tuh?
I see.
Oh,
Jadi-
iya. Boleh juga.
Okay. So we are not agree for the vegetarian things because it's not sunnah. So and then also from the audience here, barley is jejawut in Javanese language. Jejawut.
Jejawut, ya. Nah, Aiwa.
Jejawut. Aywa, the jejawut.
Jejawut.
Is it tahiban? What?
Talbinah.
Talbinah? Is
Bukan
it same?
Taliban. Antum. Ini mulai menurun, decreasing the speed. Moderator.
The intelligence is decreasing.
Maybe you
decreasing.
should
Low
take,
bat.
some
Low
milk.
bat.
Not enough omega-3. Not enough omega-3.
Low bed, doc. So okay, that's it. So that's it. I see the question in Facebook. So
I want to ask something.
okay,
Yes,
Mate.
please.
Is our audience understand what we are talking about?
Most definitely.
Yes or no?
of course.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
no, I'm walking out.
They're asking. They're
Yeah.
they understand, even though it's they're asking in Indonesian.
Yeah.
So we wrap up to the conclusion.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Zaidul. So we have the herbs, the veggies, the fruits, milk. So everything I mean, the conclusion will be what you are is what you eat, right? So please, some of the sentences will close this discussion from Dr. Zaidul.
Okay, Bismillah. The conclusion about maybe this majlis, inshallah, if we talking about winter, if we talking about season, we also talking about iman. Iman can be goes up, can goes up, can goes down. So whatever the season upcoming to us, we have to maintain the iman, stay on the stable state. That's what Islam touch us. I mean that ad-dinu nasiha. This deen, this religion is advice for people who believe it. So the winter is one of the sign from Allah. So believe it, and because the temperature is raising up, we have to also raising up what we body need. I mean that in winter we cannot be goes down. We cannot let our body goes down the temperature. So that's why I suggest milk, date, ginger, honey, black seed. Some of the Quran said about the food. That's one of the best way to keep our temperature of body stay warm. Because if our body becoming or decrease the temperature, the immunity will be decreasing also.
Okay.
So how can we stabilize the temperature or stabilize the immunity? Making more salah, making more prayer in the winter, because the moving in the salah, in the prayer, is making our temperature stable.
MashaAllah. Taib. MashaAllah. Dr. Reza, to conclude our discussion this afternoon.
Jazakallah, ya Sheikh. I mean, we learned a lot from you today. Most importantly, yes, the concept of iman and the food. And I think it's befitting when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 153, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. That when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, the Lord, the Almighty, the One, says that, really seek help in the salah and in the patience. And in it, Allah, the Almighty, is with those that are patient. I think what you're saying, seek isti'anah, seek the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then look into the bounties, the nutrition that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in abundance. And one of the things that when you say al-iman al-yadid wal-yankus, that iman, it goes up and it goes down. Allahu Akbar, I couldn't agree anymore. That is very, very true, yes. But also you talk about milk, and again to wrap up, that remember that milk is among the only two things that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu peace and blessing be upon him, said that he asked for more. Rasulullah sallallahu never asked for anything more other than knowledge and milk. And we know Rasulullah said, Rabbi zidni ilma wa dhulukni fahma, that the only thing that he ever asked for more other than knowledge is milk. When Nabi sallallahu teaches us before we drink milk, before we consume milk, by saying Allahumma barik lana fihi wa zidna min. So I think that probably what I learned from Asih, Dr. Zaidul Akbar, Hafidahullah. May Allah protect and preserve him and all of his families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make him of more benefit towards the Ummah. The Ummah needs you, Yasir. The Ummah is forever indebted to your great deeds, and it has become amalul jariyah. And at the end, if there is anything that I've said wrong, Yasir, I apologize sincerely. Ana Abdul Fakir, Reza Abdul-Jabbar, I seek your forgiveness, my brothers, my sisters. And if there is anything that we've said in this forum that is correct, هذا فمن الله. And that's all I can say. And back to the moderator.
Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu fikum.
Wa fikum
So,
barakallah.
can we just discuss in Indonesia a bit for the
Yes,
closing?
yeah, open up. Yeah.
Yes. Syekh, ini terakhir ada masuk pertanyaan lagi. Obat herbal apa yang dapat menyatukan luka terbuka, dokter?
Luka terbuka?
Iya, luka terbuka gimana ini, dok?
Kalau luka terbuka, ini bahasa Indonesia?
Bahasa Indonesia aja, dok.
Bahagia banget saya. Masya Allah. Kalau lukanya terbuka, bahasa Inggris aja, saya lebih lancar bahasa Inggris ya kayaknya. Lebih lancar. Nah, bahasa Inggris saya. Ya, baik. Jadi kalau luka terbuka, kalau masih ngalir ya bawa ke UGD, harus dibersihkan, harus dijahit. Tapi kalau seandainya udah kering dan pengen lebih cepat penyembuhannya, ya salah satu yang sangat disarankan itu menggunakan albumin. Albumin, ada beberapa jenis produk-produk yang beredar juga yang isinya albumin, termasuk ada albumin toman dalam bentuk serbuk bubuk, itu juga bisa dimakan dan nanti bubuk, dia kapsul ya, dari ikan toman itu dibuka nanti bisa ditempelkan di situ juga membantu penyembuhan kulit yang luka tadi. Tapi dengan catatan sudah tidak ada perdarahan ya. Ini kan judulnya untuk memperbaiki atau meregenerasi sel, yaitu salah satu perannya bisa dapatkan dari albumin. Mentok-mentoknya kalau nggak, saya pernah share waktu itu cara membuat sup albumin pakai ikan juga. Kalau nggak ikan gabus, ikan toman. Nanti bisa dibaca di IG saya. Cara membuatnya. Ini lancar banget bahasa Indonesianya ya.
Lancar ya. Kayak orang Indonesia. Ini berapa banyak maksimal seseorang mengkonsumsi susu segar dalam satu hari? Nah, ini dokter Reza sama
itu Brother Reza lah yang
Oke.
Nah, jadi teman-teman, jadi kita nih ya, kalau bicara berapa, ini kan tergantung badan. Tapi aneh nih pengalaman, kalau anda lihat anak-anak yang namanya Talha sama Omar ini, memang dia begitu dia lepas nyusu badan, dia ini bisa minum 1 liter sampai 1,5 liter satu hari. Nah, jadi tergantung anaknya demen nggak minum susu. Ada kebetulan kita punya anak-anak yang demen susu ya. Jadi
tapi
kalau kita
gemuk,
bicara, tapi alhamdulillah nggak ini ya, Ustaz. Masya Allah dia badannya kenceng. Kalau lari gitu ya menang gitu ya. Kalau
lari sama abinya, ya iyalah abinya udah uzur.
Kagak, Arya Nabinya mah dia bisa ngalahin Nabinya nih. Nah, tapi ada suatu kaidah dikit ya, Kalau di NZ ini, kita kalau anak-anak kecil ini, kita nggak kasih minuman lain kecuali susu sama air putih aja. Kurang lebih dia minum tuh kalau nggak 1 susu, 1 air putih gitu. Air putih, susu. Gitu. Jadi kalau asupan minumannya ini tadi 2 liter, 2,5 liter ya antum bagi 2 aja. Sekuatnya dia mau minum, kurang lebih bahasanya begitu. Karena yang kita pahami sampai dia berusia 5 tahun itu kita pol-polin aja.
Oke.
Ya, sebenarnya sih kalau itu ya, kalau dalam pemahaman gizi ya, kalau berapa banyak ya, kalau pakai kata-kata atau kalimatnya hadis ya, sepertiga makan, sepertiga minum, sepertiga udara, kan gitu. Jadi kita makan tuh bukan buat kenyang, karena harus sisakan buat minuman dan udara juga. Nah, tapi memang setiap orang kan beda. Contoh tadi kan mungkin dengan 1 liter, mungkin 1,5 liter satu hari dengan aktivitas fisik yang cukup. Jadi kalori in sama kalori out-nya berimbang, nggak masalah. Nah, sekarang masalahnya orang minum susu, tapi ya bukan susu kemasan ya. Saya tidak bahas susu kemasan, saya bahas fresh milk yang ada di New Zealand. Kalau kemasan saya, maaf saya nggak tahu tuh. Jadi apa namanya kalau bagus itu antara yang masuk sama yang dipakai sama yang keluar berimbang, nggak bakal gemuk. Ya, itu masalahnya sekarang kan. Nah sekarang Indonesia ya kita udah tahu lah, negeri kita kan belum terlalu tinggi ya konsumsi susunya. Yang paling tinggi sini es teh.
Sagitel Ustaz.
Jadi jangan sampai minum susu habis itu main game.
Wasgitel.
Ya kan? Jadi jangan minum susu habis itu main game gitu kan.
Iya benar, habis minum susu ngurusin sapi, habis minum susu ngurusin sapi, kurus kita.
Nah,
Benar.
Langsing.
Ini ada
Chef,
lagi
ini
nih.
ada yang nanya lagi, Chef.
Oh,
Ini perasaan
ada
udah
yang
ditutup
siap,
tadi
siap.
majelisnya.
Satu dong. Ini kan habatus sauda yang bentuknya bubuk ya, bubuk. Apa sih bentuk seeds gitu, seeds.
Apaan
Iya,
tuh?
Bijian. Nah,
Habatus
ini-
sauda.
Ya,
Dok.
berapa banyak nih kita pakai nih?
Sendok sehari ya.
Oh, siap.
Oh, sendok sehari. Oke. Siap.
Habat sauda
Sendok
itu yang
kecil ya?
menarik apa coba? Habatus sauda yang menarik, negara yang paling tinggi tingkat konsumsi habatus saudanya itu Jerman.
Oh, Jerman.
Jerman.
Oh, Masya Allah.
Indonesia baru sampai pada tingkat pembersih piring. Tahu saudara tuh ya? Kalau dibikin buat
Jerman.
kosmetik, buat sabun, buat apa itu Masya Allah. Dan menariknya lagi, saya mau cerita. Ini mumpung lagi lancar bahasa Indonesianya.
Wih, lagi lancar banget nih.
Saya pernah datang ke pabrik teman saya, pabrik habatus sauda. Jadi kalau pabrik itu ya, teman-teman ya, itu kan lantainya itu namanya epoksi. Epoksi itu lantai, pokoknya tebel lah gitu kan. Dia tahan lah dengan panas segala macam. Yang lucunya adalah ketika habatus sauda atau minyak itu jatuh ke lantai, minyak habatus sauda jatuh ke lantai itu bisa lumer kayak keroak-keroak gitu loh.
Subhanallah.
Itu lantai. Yang jadi masalah adalah ini benda masuk ke badan kita kok antang-antang aja.
Subhanallah.
Luar biasa kan?
Iya.
Jadi habatus sauda itu kalau ditanya sedikit habatus sauda ya. Kalau habatus sauda itu yang paling baik kalau menurut yang saya baca sih habatus sauda paling baik itu habatus sauda Habasya, Ethiopia.
Ya.
Oh, dari Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Iya.
Dan itu ada musimnya juga gitu kan. Seperti itu.
Jadi sih yang antum lihat dengan Jerman tingginya tingkat pemakaian habatus sauda, apa yang positif yang kita lihat dari populasi Jerman?
Kalau datanya sih belum saya baca sih ya. Tapi yang jelas kan negara-negara yang cenderung tidak cenderung tidak tinggi penggunaan lemak-lemak trans ya, minyak goreng segala macam, biasanya angka kardiovaskular juga tidak tinggi. Meskipun ya kita harus akuin juga kalau di Jerman kan mungkin tingkat pemakaian alkohol juga tinggi tuh. Alkohol kan bisa bikin masalah juga ke liver sama ke jantung gitu. Datanya saya belum bisa baca. Tapi poinnya bukan di situ. Bagi saya itu poinnya justru malah kenapa nggak umat Islam gitu kan yang menyemarakkan ini gitu loh.
Iya.
Ini kalau kita bikin kue campurin habatus sauda, kemudian bikin masakan campurin habatus sauda kan bisa, bikin sabun, bikin apa campurin habatus sauda semua. Ada berkah di situ gitu loh.
Iya.
Poin di situ.
Masya Allah.
Ya, Masya Allah. Jazakallah.
Allah, jazakallah khair. Dok, kalau habatus sauda nih dok, ini kan during COVID-19 ini, apakah ada yang mencoba untuk meneliti habatus sauda untuk COVID-19?
Ada di beberapa
Ada.
universitas Islam di Madinah, di Mesir itu ada penelitiannya. Jadi sebenarnya kayak COVID kayak begini kalau saya sih ya, ngandalin herbal nabawi udah cukup sebenarnya. Salah satunya adalah madu sama habatus sauda. Jadi pagi-pagi teman-teman itu ya minum aja madu mungkin dicampurin air 1-2 sendok makan, madunya kasih air 300 ml, minum habatus sauda 3, 5, 7 gitu sama 7 butir kurma ajwa. Nanti malam makan lagi kayak begitu.
Subhanallah.
Itu imunitinya udah luar biasa itu.
Subhanallah.
Udah cukup. Ya kalau mau lebih kuat lagi ya tambahkan lagi dengan makanan-makanan fermented atau cairan-cairan fermented kayak probiotik gitu-gitu lah. Karena probiotik ini by research-nya juga dia bisa kalau bahasa saya itu mendakwakan virus ini untuk kembali ke jalan yang benar.
Itu lucu tuh dok. Masya Allah. Aduh, very interesting. Terima kasih banyak dokter buat waktunya.
Ya.
Dokter Zaidul Akbar.
Di sesi
dan
paling
Dr.
bahagia
Reza.
saya ini dari sesi beberapa sesi tadi.
Dok, tapi pertanyaan terakhir dok. Jadi
Terakhir, oke.
Ada lagi dia.
Nah, ini terakhir nih. Jadi resep obat ganteng antum.
Ini nih. Nah, ini
Bentar. Rapiin dulu.
Nah,
Saya sih nggak merasa ganteng ya. Tapi ganteng banget. Nggak ada lah. Jadi sebenarnya gini ya. Saya kasih tahu. Jadi sebenarnya sel-sel tubuh kita nih, teman-teman sekalian, yang dibutuhkan tuh cuma enzim aja. Enzim. Jadi aging itu adalah miskinnya enzim. Aging. Nah, artinya apa? Enzim kita bisa dapatkan dari mana? Ya cari bahan bakunya, asam amino, kayak madu, kurma, segala macam. Atau tadi probiotik juga bisa kita konsumsi ya. Yang paling penting dari semua itu adalah lagunya, bukan lagunya, syairnya Aagim itu loh, jagalah hati.
Insyaallah. Insyaallah.
Jazakallah khair. Suara kenapa nih?
Commute nih.
Suaranya hilang.
Suaranya hilang, Dok.
Dok.
Suaranya hilang.
Nah, ini masuk lagi. Iya, Dok. Fadol.
Baterainya kurang enzim.
Nah,
Jadi dia cerita itu, Masya Allah, ternyata kekuatan yang paling luar biasa dari badan itu apa? Kekuatan hati, dia bilang. Maka dalam video saya di YouTube tuh ada tuh, hati sebagai panglima. Jadi mau seenak apapun makanan, mau seset apapun, kalau lagi bete, lagi baper, lagi marah, bakal enak tuh makanan. Demikian juga kalau kita makan sesuatu atau masak sesuatu dalam kondisi yang tidak baik. Jadi maka kata kuncinya di hati. Maka ibtasim, tersenyumlah. Life is too short to be unhappy. Itu lancar banget.
wah, lancar lagi nih, Dok.
Sih, antum pilihan protein yang paling antum pilih apa? Apa sih?
Kambiang.
Wah, Masya Allah. Baik.
Masya Allah.
Udah temenan kita. We are friends for life.
Doi. Tinggal nanti kita nyusu bareng ya. Nyusu bareng mau Abi.
Masya Allah.
Baik,
Baik, terima kasih, Dr. Zaidul.
Hai, saya
Dr.
dikit,
Reza.
saya mau tanya sedikit. Ini kalau
iya,
boleh
boleh.
tahu nih, Syekh Reza nih, antum di sana sapinya berapa sih?
Anda ini bervariasi sih, antara 4.000, 4,5, 5.000, tergantung masanya gitu.
Oh, paling puncak-puncaknya kalau lagi musim panas gitu ya?
Iya, enggak, musim semi di
Musim
September
semi.
Oktober itu ya, pas lahiran. Karena kita enggak, yang lahiran ini enggak kita simpan semua gitu loh. Jadi banyak kan ada jual. Karena kalau kita simpan, nanti ini jadi berapa populasi? Jadi enggak terbendung kan?
Iya.
Nanti kita nggak bisa ngasih makannya. Jadi kalau kita katakan kita punya 4.000, lahir 1.400, 1.300, lahir terus kan? 2 tahun udah berapa ya? Udah meledak-ledak kan nggak bisa.
Itu sapinya sapi khusus daging atau sapi susu?
Kita susu, kita halib bakar ya sih.
Oh, jadi dagingnya nggak bisa dimakan tuh sapi ya?
Bisa banget. Cuman kan karena halib bakar ini dia ini lebih mahal dari sapi potong. Jadi kalau halib bakar ini dia 3 kali 4 kali harganya sapi potong.
Oh.
Jadi kita nggak mungkin kita besarin terus kita makan. Jadi yang kita makan yang lakinya ataupun yang ketika dia udah nggak produktif dan
nggak tega
beberapa
makannya yang mahal ya.
Jadi tapi kalau buat antum pilihlah kita sembelih insyaallah.
Masya Allah. Nanti tunggu aneh di sana ya.
Ada sendiri. Jadi gini, insyaallah. Jadi kita ada juga beberapa tahun ini kita miara ada 40-50 wagyu ya, wagyu yang adinya pengen.
Aneh tahu cuma stick doang itu. Wagyu. Sama
atau
bakso,
betul kan?
sekarang
Enak,
ada
rawon.
bakso wagyu.
Rawon wagyu ya enak, Dok.
Boleh. Nanti kalau ya. Jadi kurang lebih begitulah. Jadi kita
Alhamdulillah.
ya insyaallah doakum
Amin,
ya,
insya Allah. Kami doakan
jadikan
semoga
kita nih-
sapinya memenuhi seperempat New Zealand.
Amin ya Rab.
Amin Allahumma amin.
Amin ya Rab.
Jadi mudah-mudahan jadi bermanfaat ya Syekh, bermanfaat.
Amin, insya Allah, insya Allah. Jangan lupa bikin yogurt ya.
Insyaallah.
Nanti dibagi-bagiin tuh ke bule-bule. Siapa tahu masuk Islam dia gara-gara yogurt.
Oh insyaallah.
Amin,
Kita nggak
amin.
pernah tahu yang namanya jalan dakwah. Insyaallah. Kita
Amin,
pokoknya
insyaallah.
kita punya Anda tinggalan antum dengan ini dengan pesantren DTLB.
Apa itu?
Dakwah the last breath.
Masya Allah.
Masya Allah.
Amin, insya Allah.
Amin.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Baik.
Antum udah pernah ke sana? Akhir itu?
Udah.
Wih, beliau ini
Udah.
kalau setahun nggak 2 kali ada yang salah sih.
Oh, pantes. Pria banget dia.
Enggak lah.
Aneh yang
Ini kan
sedih belum ke sana.
resep dari antum ya kan? Masya
Apa tempe?
Allah.
Cuman anak ya gimana Cak biar bisa hitam lagi rambut gitu sih.
Nah,
Yang mana? Itu? Tito?
Iya.
iya.
Oh, gampang.
Nah,
Ada testimoni, ada jemaah testimoni itu dia rempah-rempah tuh lengkuas, jahe, serai, sama apa lagi satu tuh ya, itu di blender terus dibalur-balurin.
Enggak, yang diminum bukan diminum aja sih.
Oh, minum juga. Rempah-rempah tuh dia juga termasuk salah satunya itu. Termasuk salah satunya ya dibekam kalau di kepala sih ya. Itu juga menguatkan.
Subhanallah. Masya Allah.
Kalau jangan kunyit, kalau kunyit mah kunying nanti. Nanti antum jadi bule Tito.
Gawat. Aduh, gawat. Aduh. Baik, Dokter Reza, Dokter Zaidul, terima kasih banyak waktunya. Kita akhirkan dengan doa kafaratul majelis.
Subhanallah.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wa barakallahu fikum.
Barakallahu fikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.